In today's Pro Bike Check, we're going to take a look at fellow Scotsman Ruaridh Cunningham. We're here at Hardline. He was last year's winner, got second place today. The bike is still covered in mud, it's got grass on it. So let's take a look at the components and spec that he's got. Let's take a look at that bike. It is a full carbon Trek session and it's a Uno edition. Ruaridh rides for the Uno's tool team and it's in custom black, looking really cool. You've also got some decals up on the top, just to add a little bit of colour. Features I'm going to talk about on the frame are the fact that you've got this mastic tape to dampen some of the sound. You've also got protection on the seat stays and it's all finished off with internal cable routing, keeping it looking super sleek. Ruaridh is a SRAM sponsored athlete, so you've got the shifter up in the bars and then you've got that XO1 DH group set. So you've got the mech, you've got the 7-speed cassette, just look at the size of that, is absolutely tiny. You've got the chain and then you've got a SRAM XO crankset. So they're actually carbon cranks as well. They're 165 millimeters in length, 36 tooth chainring, and it's all finished off with a gamut chain device. You've also got a bash plate underneath just to protect that chainring from hits on rocks. Apparently, now this might be top secret, not too sure, but there's a Type 3 clutch in the rear mech here. Not too sure on details on that, maybe we'll find out very soon. Let's take a look at the cockpit. So you've got a set of Stevie Smith tribute bars, these are 780 millimeters in width, a Hope stem which is 40 millimeters in length, and you've got a couple of extra spacers just to lift that stem up so on the steeper tracks you can get over the rear that little bit easier. You've got a set of lizard skin lock-on grips and these are Uno tool specific. They've got the name on the end of the logos. You've got a set of Avid code levers and that SRAM XO1 shifter. The wheels are covered by Hope and they're the Tech DH, it's the 27.5-inch bike. You've got those blue Hope hubs in the center there with some blue nipples as well, just to make it look a little bit trick. You've also got a set of Schwalbe Dirty Dans. Now look at the cut of these. If you just bring that camera in a little bit closer, you can see they've been trimmed the edges to take away some of the knobs, shorten them off and just make them a little bit faster for rolling. Brake rotors are covered by Avid as well and they're 203 millimeters. And then noticing on the rear caliper, you've also got this brake dampener. So obviously just to take some of those vibrations away, you've got a weight in the middle surrounded by some rubber, and that's just to work it away, take those oscillations and hopefully give you smoother braking coming into those rougher sections. Suspension, both front and rear, is covered by RockShox. And if we come up and have a look at that fork to start with, well, the one interesting thing that I'm going to talk about is the fact that this is actually a coil fork, not air that you see a lot of the other riders using. You, of course, as well, you've got your compression, dampening, rebound adjustment. And having a look in the rear shock, it's a RockShox, it's a Vivid, and it's R2C. So you've got compression, rebound, and Ruaridh is actually running a 550-pound spring. Finishing touches on the bike are the set of Crank Brothers Mallet DH, and just look at the extension of the pins on them, they're really aggressive. You've got a carbon seat post and then a Celitalia SRL saddle. And then just sat down here is his custom helmet, Scottish flag, and that is super nice. Okay, so we've got the man himself to ask him some questions about the bike. What I'm going to kick it off with is, what have you changed on the bike setting from World Cup to now Hardline?
The only thing really I've changed is suspension. Went up from a 500 to a 550 on the rear shock, and went from 3 closed on the compression to fully closed on the front fork. So yeah, just the steepness of some of the ramps here, like how fast we're having to hit them. You don't want the bike to be bottoming out or squirming off the takeoff, so that's been the main thing. Tyre pressure is much the same as what you usually run, 26 in the front, 28 in the back. And this weekend, cut Dirty Dan, and yeah, everyone else has been pretty much the same.
Awesome. And I've been hearing that you've been running a slightly different spring. It's called the Race Only. Can you tell me what's changed with that and the ideas behind it?
Yeah, so I'm running a prototype Race Only progressive spring in the boxers. The reason behind it is when you run, I guess when we run air to a certain point, you've always got that notch off the top. Spring tends to glue the ground a lot better. So I've did a bit of testing with it in mid-season, and yeah, the grip on the front end is unreal, and because the spring's progressive as well, it ramps up a lot. So I'm currently on a medium, and you know, for this weekend I put the compression on, but you know, still the same spring I'm running at World Cup.
And talking of grip, I've noticed that on the pedals you've got those pins extended to the maximum point on the Mallet DHs. Can you tell me why? Because that's slightly different to what we've seen on other pro bikes.
Yeah, I mean, I started out riding flats for a long time, probably only changed to clips about 5 years ago. So I've always liked feeling the pins and having a bit of friction in my shoe. So it does rip the sole of my shoe a little bit, you know, clipping in and out, but you know, I don't like that feeling of floating and just kind of nothing. Like, I like a bit of friction, so it feels like I'm on a flat pedal, but you've got the stability and you don't have to worry about your foot blowing off. So yeah, it's just personal preference. There's probably a few little quirky bits in there, but yeah, it's yeah, normal for me.
For some more videos on GMBN, why don't you check out our Pro Bike playlist, which is just right here.
If you want to know more about Hardline, click here.
And don't forget to subscribe somewhere on this globe right here, and you'll get a great video every single day of the week. If you like Ruaridh's bike, then give it a thumb up like.